We've got farmers at one end of the scale and we've got technology providers at the other end, and one of the things that often is missing in the challenging rural environment is how we get the data from the device to the farmer, and so we're looking at how that network ecosystem can be put in place, that we can end up as essentially as a services company that can provide bespoke coverage and solutions for farmers to enable agri-tech that's fast emerging. We're with these trials looking at two real types of network. The first one is a bespoke network that we would create on behalf of farmers that would enable products like the small robot companies, robots, or the Hummingbirds drones, to go out and sense the field and pass huge amounts of data, the order of 5 or 10 terabytes of data a day, back into the cloud to be processed rapidly so that you can move another robot into the field to perform a farming operation.
For Robot Company, we're developing small smart machines, intelligent robots to understand the farm at a granular level and then take action at that same level of detail. But it's something that really involves a huge amount of data processing. And even now it's a manual process to extract that data on farm, take it back and take the SD card out, analyze that and process that. What we envision here, working with Wessex Internet, Rural Dorset Talent, is making a step change in rural productivity by bringing that processing power onto farms, and giving farmers the tools to analyse that data sets at large scale, billions of data points on farm, and then take incredible action.
So we're looking at drones as one of the main use cases. So being able to fly drones is really helpful for farmers because they're able to collect data and really detailed data from the field. So they're able to identify particular crops or particular diseases in crops or deficiencies in the soil from those images. And so essentially 5G is going to enable us to take that data back straight away from the field. So eventually the long-term vision is really that you have a drone that's completely automatic in the field, and that you don't have to have manual interaction at some point, although that's still a long way off.
5G comes in a number of flavors, and essentially the real development over 4G is the flexibility to be able to design a connectivity solution that's tailored for the specific requirements of that user. In 4G you've got a standardized network that's all about download speed, so you can consume Netflix on your phone, but not necessarily about upload speed, and it's not necessarily thinking about the amount of power consumption on your phone or a number of other reliability factors, whereas with 5G we can tailor that towards specific ultra low power usage, so a sensor lasts 10 years, or ultra high reliability, so we can guarantee that communication happens, or to as fast as possible upload speed, so we can pull data off a device in the field and into the cloud, where it doesn't actually need to download anything from the cloud back to the device.
I know that 5G requires quite a lot of antennas, so are you planning to build those antennas?
So in the bespoke coverage element of it, yes, we would plan to build those antennas. So that's where we're looking at how we can break the cost barriers. It costs someone like Vodafone over £250,000 to put a mast up. We want to get that down to sub £10,000 so that we can build masts in remote areas, preferably supported by solar panels rather than needing electricity connection, where we can deliver that connectivity very reliably. In the sensing side, we're working in partnership with Vodafone. They've already got an IoT network that sits out there. It's very underused. That ecosystem hasn't been built, and so we're really focusing on completing the ecosystem, and that has a much wider coverage from the mast. So we've already got nearly full coverage in a county like Dorset, and so that's something where we're focusing on the ecosystem, and we won't build the mast ourselves.
There are some researchers that say that 5G is not good for the environment. What do you think?
I think there are some campaigners that say that 5G is not good for us. I think all of the research that you see out in the market, and certainly if you really take an in-depth look, 5G is no more harmful than 4G or any of the previous generations. And I think that.
But because the 4G has wider range, so there's not as many antennas.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're looking at. To be honest with you, I just don't buy what the 5G complaints around the health scares. Really, what we're looking at in 5G and some of the stuff, particularly the Internet of Things devices, the real piece that we're looking at here is the same bandwidth as 4G. Even in some cases, lower power requirements than 4G, but deployed in a way where the network that sits behind them is more secure, more flexible, more adaptable. And that's about network settings and network requirements more than it is just about the antenna that sits at the top of the mast. In terms of Yes, we may need more masts and many more masts, but we hope we can deploy those masts with wooden poles in much smaller sites with much smaller infrastructures. And I think as we go forwards, we'll see that done in a way which is using solar power and people with a concern about the ESG and net zero impact. So I think those are the environmental side of the cost and environmental cost of putting a mast up. I think people are becoming much more concerned about offsetting, and that I think will continue as we go forwards.